Hi, it's Tina. I'm making dinner. Glad you joined me. I thought tonight, since it's been a really cold day here in western Pennsylvania, we'd have a nice hearty chili. So I've got some onions browning in a big pot. And let's see what else we'll add to this. I thought maybe some mushrooms, because mushrooms give chili a really meaty feel, even though we're not adding meat. I don't like to use commercial crumbles and things like that. I try to keep my food whole food, plant-based as much as possible. And I'll use a couple of ingredients every now and then that aren't considered entirely whole foods, but for the most part, my dishes are all whole foods. I think it's a lot healthier to eat unprocessed, and so I try to do that for myself and for my family as much as possible. So I've just got some sliced mushrooms down here, and I'm sorry that you can't see me, but I am just chopping those up into nice small little pieces so that they will resemble kind of meat in the chili. And I've got my camera trained on my pan so that you can see things as I add them in. Now you know, if you've watched me, that my picky eater daughter doesn't like mushrooms. She says I'm trying to poison her. But mushrooms give us vitamin D, and if I keep sneaking them into the food and chop them up really fine, one just might sneak in without her finding it and putting it in her dad's plate. So I have chopped these up. I'll show you those. Nice and small. I'm just going to add them in so that they'll brown up with these onions. Just give them a good stir. I've got my heat on medium-high. I've got numbers on my dials, and so I've got it sitting at 5. It goes 2 through 9. So that's just a good medium heat. Then I've got a nice green bell pepper. And I'm just going to slice that up. Now remember, I'm going to save this bit with the seeds and the stem, and I'm going to put that in my freezer bag for making the veggie broth. I've always got a Ziploc bag in the freezer, and all of my little cuttings go out into the freezer, into that bag, and once that bag is full, then I pull it out and make my veggie broth in the Instant Pot. And I did make a video about that, if you're curious. You can search for that. And I'm just cubing these up real good too. And don't forget to stir. Let those brown up real good. And I'm just going to dice up this entire green bell pepper and put it in. And I know that's loud, I'm sorry. I'm a really heavy-handed chopper, I guess. And I don't mean to ignore you. I'm just really concentrating on not chopping off my fingertips. And I could have pre-chopped all these, but then what would we have to do? What would we talk about if I was just throwing stuff in here? So if you're following me, you know I'm doing that final December push. See how much more weight I can get off by the end of this year. I've lost 1 more pound, so I'm up to 36 pounds lost for the year thus far. And I realize I probably still look a little chunky to some of you, but I started at 202 pounds, so I'm very proud of myself. I'm down to 166 this morning. See that? Just browning those up. Now, the next thing I'm going to chop up over here off camera is some potatoes. These are just russet potatoes. I pre-cooked them in the Instant Pot, and I keep a bowl of potatoes cooked up and cold. And Dr. Greger at nutritionfacts.org did a video where he showed the medical research that said that the starches are healthier if they're cooked, cooled, and then reheated. So I do a great big pot, every 2 to 3 days in my Instant Pot. Now, I've taken these out, and me and my husband have had our breakfast out of those. So that pot was completely full. And I do that, like I said, every 2 to 3 days. I cook those up, and then I put them in this bowl in my refrigerator. I've just chopped up that potato, and I'm going to stick those in there too. Now remember what I said about you have to always spill something. You have to offer something up to the kitchen gods, and 2 of those just went behind there on the stove. So we've made our offering. That means our food will taste good. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water from my kettle. Always have water on my kettle, because my onions have gotten really good and brown, and my mushrooms down in there. So I'm adding a little water to help the rest of it along. So you've got to offer something up to the kitchen gods, and that just gives you good luck and helps everything to taste better. And I did. I spilled some potatoes back there. Anyway, with the starches, supposedly healthier if you cook, cool, reheat. I also find that the consistency of the potato, the texture of it, is much nicer. Now I will pull these out, cut them just like this, and put them in my air fryer right beside me, or in my oven. I've got a little crisper basket. If I'm making for me and my husband both, then I use the crisper basket because I can fit more potatoes in there. I can fit 4 potatoes. In my air fryer, I can only fit 2. So if it's just for me for lunch, I'll just use the air fryer. And I do 25 minutes at 45 degrees, and I'll just crisp those up for my lunch. And I'll have those and have a salad. So I start with a salad. Both right now, I'm doing this through all of December. So breakfast and lunch, I start with a bowl of salad, and then I fix 2 potatoes in the air fryer. And then I find that if I start with salad, I'm usually hungry in about 2 hours. Salad does not fill me up, unless I put beans or something like that in it. So I start with my salad. By the time my potatoes have crisped up real crisp and then cooled down enough to eat, then I'm hungry again, and then I'll eat my potatoes. So that's how I start my day. So I find it just easier. Have the potatoes in the fridge. They're always ready for me to just do whatever I need. Now tonight I'm adding them to my supper. And then, of course, I've had some for breakfast and for lunch. And my husband's home. They're ready, and I can fix for him. Now So far I've put 3 medium and then 1 little tiny small one. And that's just, I didn't plan it. That's what was left in this bowl already done. So I want all of the ones I cooked the other day into this chili so that I can put all the ones that I cooked today from the Instant Pot into my bowl in the fridge. So remember I said I don't use any recipes, I just kind of wing it. That's where I came up with how much potatoes I was going to put in. That's how many potatoes I had. Stirring those around, and look at how good that is. Now that is mushrooms, onions, bell pepper, and potatoes. And you know what, if that was just for me and my husband, that would be a meal. Doesn't that look good? But since I'm feeding 4 people tonight, I'm going to add a lot more. So I've got a can of corn. I've got a big can of diced tomatoes. Got a little can of organic tomato paste. Get as much of that out as I can. I do recycle, so anything that I don't put in the pot, I have to wash out so that I can recycle those cans. So I certainly don't want it going down the sink. Okay, then I've got a can of spicy black beans. Oh, now see, I spilled it all over my fingers, so this is going to be really, really tasty. We've got all kinds of offerings to the gods here. And then we've got organic chili beans. I like to have different kinds of beans. Each bean has a different nutritional value, a different amount of magnesium, a different amount of iron, different amount of folic acid, just all kinds of wonderful things in beans. Now, are you seeing how nice that looks? Remember what I said about I like to cook with colors. So I've got my red from my tomatoes, I've got my yellow from my corn, I've got 2 different colors of beans, I've got the green from the bell peppers, I've got white from onions and potatoes. It's a really colorful, healthful dish, and you see how easy it was for me to throw that together. Now, it wouldn't be done if it didn't have spices. So, our handy dandy onion powder. Notice I keep that right off of the stove there, right within reach. Don't have to open any cabinets for that one. I've got some garlic powder. Want a lot of that. Cumin is always really good in chili. And if you must measure, do about a tablespoon of each. Now, wouldn't be chili without chili powder. Now, if you like it real spicy, put some red pepper flakes and maybe even some chipotle. Then I'm going to do some of my generic Mrs. Dash. Oh, the dogs are going to go crazy because my son is home. Now, about 2 tablespoons of this. Okay. Stir it up. Let it simmer. And it's done. Have a good night.